Hello everybody and welcome back, and today we're reacting to Feed the Beast, the new album by wait, what's her name? Petras. Oh my god, I can't believe I forgot her name. An album that I thought I was going to jump into it not knowing any songs, but here's what happened. Petras had an album that was supposed to come out that was called Problématique. That album contains amazing songs that I've heard because it topped the league charts, you know? If you're a fan of Petras, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Currently #1 on the league chart, and I couldn't do it without you guys. My leagues are doing incredibly well.
Honestly, it was an amazing pop album. I would have taken it, but it was never officially released. So I was like, well, that sucks. It's gonna be a loss, and like so many of the songs could have been hits. But now I look at the track listing for Feed the Beast, and who do I find? A couple of familiar names here and there. I'm really ecstatic about going through this album. Kim is something. Kim is a phenomenon. She's phenomenal. I'm really excited to get into it. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Whoa.
I know you wanna feed the beast in the morning, in the evening, on the counter, on the floor.
Whoa.
Keep it coming back for more.
Okay, first of all, that is it's a sound that is like entirely respective of her genre. I mean, it's right up, straight up, right up my alley. We're gonna have one of those today. I'm warning you ahead of time. I feel like I'm gonna confuse a lot of expressions. We're gonna get confused. We're gonna get whiplashed. This is your official warning. But this track is really, it's exactly what I expected from Petras, and it's good quality pop music, and it's fun, and it's that early like 2000s dance house type of scenario. And then Feed the Beast, the just the lyrical concept, interesting choice, and to make it as an opener, I'm curious as to, like, you know, the whole album, where we're gonna go from there. But yeah.
In the morning, in the evening, on the counter, on the floor. Throw you my heart like keep the beast. Don't put your hands all over me. Feed the beast, feed the beast.
I mean, what an opener. It's kind of short though, 2 minutes and 31 seconds. Honestly, sort of like the industry average in 2023. I'm not gonna argue with that today. Production wise, like I loved it. We all know what the song is about though. She has a whole EP that was pretty much R-rated at that point, but production wise, it's on par with what I expected. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I had expectations for Petras. I knew where we were heading. It is her first debut album. Well, she only has one debut album, so does anybody, but it was her debut album. That's what I meant to say. Even though it was her debut album, we all know that she's been launching many EPs beforehand. Like, she has many years of experience, and she was supposed to start an album cycle, I think, even before the pandemic at that point. So I'm not surprised, but I'm pleased. This track I've been trying to avoid on social media so freaking much. Like, I had to dodge like left and right, and just like, it was quite the dodgeball game to avoid that song. But I've heard snippets of it, so I know what to expect, and like, I saw visuals quickly. Like, I would see 1 second and just like flip right through like TikTok or whatnot, just to avoid hearing the whole song, because I wanted to be surprised for the album. But it's a sample. I know what sample it is. It kind of ruined this for us a little bit, but I'm still gonna enjoy it, and I haven't heard the whole thing, so here we go.
I've been trying to give it to you all night. Yeah, don't you wait, don't think about
For me, it's so weird. This song sample specifically comes from a song that I've heard so many different times in hockey arenas, because my father played hockey, my brother plays hockey. Anytime that you would like, I think it was even in like EA, like NHL 2001 like some sort of version of the NHL video game. I've heard that song so many times in a hockey context that my first thought goes out to like literally I think of hockey. Like that's my first instinct, and it's just weird to imagine like Kim Petras in a hockey situation, so my brain just went haywire for a second.
To get you all alone, look at me like what you
Oh,
tell me now, don't hesitate.
Kimmy, bad, Nikki, ready, yes, we brag. We throw jabs, bitch, you get dragged. It is Barbie and it's Kim Petras. Main character syndrome, they extras.
I like Nikki's feature. I think that honestly, out of everybody, like Nikki does probably the best average performance for a feature, generally speaking. It did sound kind of like that scenario where the track was sent to Nikki. She wrote her thing on her own. She recorded it on her own. It would have been cool to see some more like back and forth between Nikki and Kim. As far as I'm concerned, yeah, it's a fair feature. And I mean, like, kudos for Kim to be at that level of getting like a Nikki feature. Like it's usually when you get a feature from an artist like that, it's a good sign. It's a very good sign. The feature in itself is not impressive, but I don't mind it. And it breaks the song though. It gives really like a pause in the song where it's a whole different flow, a whole different energy. And I don't mind it. I don't think it's my favorite, but I enjoyed it. I enjoy it. Okay, yeah, no, I like the track. I definitely prefer Feed the Beast to Alone already, but it's a good track. Like, it's so definitely this album, if we're looking at lyrical themes so far, it's kind of like her latest EP, but a more demure version of it. Like, we know what it is about. It's getting that moment where that other person's alone and jumping on, yeah. So I don't think this needs any explanations, and there is Coconuts and Hit It From The Back later on that album. So we all know what album is going to be about. It ain't a surprise for nobody. Whoa.
I met you one night on the corner of a bad decision. King of hearts, you're gonna keep on playing till you go too far. No one in the world could ever be.
Woo! I mean, that was straight up Kim Petras. It is that hyperpop house, electronic, intense of an atmosphere that is created. That so far that creates like a standout track. I think it's not necessarily my favorite, but it's one of those like it shows the direction of the album or the style that Kim wants to be in and be recognized for. So that was interesting.
Everything can break in two, but a heart can break into 1,000 pieces. We used to be kissing, but now screaming night.
For some reason or another, the first thing that came to mind hearing the beginning of the song is another song that was recorded for the movie. I forgot how it's called. Oh, Don't Look Up. That's in the movie. The song Just Look Up.
Just look up, what he's really trying to say.
Anyway, something like that. I don't know why I thought of that. Kind of the same-ish vibe. And not necessarily sound, but just like energy.
Try to put back the pieces, just barely alive.
But like a faster.
Looking back, you won't find what you're looking for. You can knock on my door, but I don't live there anymore. 1,000 reasons. Everything can
Whoa.
prove what you touch because
Not my favorite so far, but I don't mind it. I'm curious. I feel like the first 4 tracks, the order of the tracks, I don't know, we're gonna hear whatever is coming up on the album later on, but I would have maybe played differently with the track listing as far as I'm concerned. I mean, Feed the Beast just put the bar like right there, which I understand why it's like the title track, and visually Feed the Beast, you can do so much in terms of creativity. Yeah, I don't know. It's that one might grow on me. It's not bad. It just might take longer to really settle as a track that I listen to.
When I'm in the place and the rate goes up. When I'm in the place and the bass goes up.
See, this sounds like her the album that was supposed to come out. This sounds like the other songs that were on that album. Was it? Hold on. Okay, no, it was not a song that was meant to be there, but it sounds like it.
Everything I drop is a banger. Every time I heard when they turn their heads, they go, uh-oh, get your back off the wall. Everything I drop is a banger.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tell me, can you handle it?
What? What is that sound? It sounded like one of those flutes thing that you go. Interesting choice.
Let's go. When they turn their heads, they go, uh-oh.
That was, I'm sure, I'm 100% sure this must be so much fun to perform live as a track, because it's one that you can have so much fun with. It's probably not as vocally demanding as the other ones, except that you have to be quick in the delivery of the lyrics. But besides that, that is just a fun track that you just want to go dance to. And like, if you are, I don't know, if you're in a show and she's performing that, like for a minute, you just completely disconnect from the world and just dance to it and enjoy the moment. But this is a fun song. I liked it. Now, technically, this one I do know. It was part of the leaked album. It's one of my favorites from that album. I'm probably just gonna enjoy it more than anything, and then I'll give my feedback after. But yeah, I like it. Let's see if I remember the lyrics.
Ooh, you get my heartbeat racing.
Okay, I don't remember the lyrics.
I ain't looking for a conversation. Give me revelation. Ooh, you get my heartbeat racing.
Now, see, the only thing that bothers me a little bit about the project, and it sucks, and it really, really sucks. Some of the songs that are produced on the album, and now I'm discovering other ones that are as well produced, are produced by Dr. Luke. And if you don't know, Kesha has formally accused Dr. Luke of sexual misconduct and then kind of like forcing her to stay for 5 albums or something with his label. And it sucks because as a listener, we're kind of stuck in between appreciating a talent and not necessarily always appreciating the personality or the person that comes with the talent. And I can name so many different examples of that type of situation. It's something that's unfortunately very common, whether it's for our, like even for my parents' generations, like Michael Jackson and all of the controversy around him, or it was Chris Brown at some point with what happened with Rihanna. It sucks that you can't fully appreciate the quality unless you're in a state where you don't know, and so ignorance is bliss. And in your case, like you're not conscious of it. For those who know about the people that are behind the songs and that like research and it matters to them, it kind of sucks to know that, because you can't fully enjoy those songs. And at the same time, it's like, why was Kim paired with that person even after all of the issues and the controversy and whatnot? It's the type of scenario where we'll never get to know the whole version and the whole situation. Anyway, I just wanted to like bring it up because it is an important thing and it can't not be just disregarded. It is an important factor, and I think that it's important for people to be very aware today and to be very educated about like proper conduct and how it does affect more than just you and the other person that is involved in the situation, but the whole entire, like the whole ecosystem. I just wanted to bring that up because I think it's an important part, and I'm surprised that some of the songs from the album did make a comeback and were released officially on this album. But yeah, it is what it is.
Tell me what's it take, make you wanna bite the bait, make you bite the bait. save it forever. I've never been better. My feet, they don't touch the ground. If you want my love, baby, say it to my face.
That's crazy. So far in the album, there are two very distinct signatures when it comes to sound. It's either that we have this like trap beat foundation and then like hyper pop it to become some sort of like darker pop track, or we have that very light hyper pop house version of it, and the album kind of goes like back and forth so far between the two genres. I stick to what I said earlier on, which was that I would have maybe reworked the album track listing a little bit to make it more, I don't know, have a bit more sense in it. It's a lot of like back and forth in my case, for me specifically, but that's my only main critique so far. And I think that bait definitely fits with Feed the Beast. See, I told you I'd make a couple more like that today. I think that it fits the album, but I would have played with the listing a little bit more.
Make you butt the baby. They call me Serpentina. I got the house in the car. Haunt you wherever you go. Haunt you wherever you go.
I think this one is going to be another one that kind of grows on me over time. I'm not hooked onto it right away, but I feel like in the context of the album, if I re-listen to the project or if I end up listening to it on shuffle, I think I would definitely listen to it again. It's good. It was missing a little something for me to be hooked onto it. But I like the idea, and it's also a short track, so it's not like there was a bit of repetitiveness that could have been too long if the track was longer, but because it's only 2.5 minutes, it's not bad. It passes.
I like sex talk, something big to measure. Make me feel the pressure. Baby,
I don't know if you understand what I mean by that whiplash between the two genres. It's like so dark, but then so light, but then so dark again, but then so light. I really would have played around with that. Like, I would have reorganized a few things to more, like, to have a journey. I think that is something I was missing. Like, it's solid pieces, especially for a debut album, but that is that. And I think that was probably a song from Problematic as well, so I'm not surprised that it sounds like that album.
anytime you wanna do sex talk to me, talk. Oh, baby.
It's so funny. It feels to me like it is a early 2000s version of Let's Talk About Sex Baby, like that song. Let's talk about sex, baby. Let's talk about you and me. All the good things and all the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. It's kind of like, it literally sounds like a decade older. They redid the song, revamped it, reinvented it, and this is what it gave. It doesn't even sound like a modern, like, today. It really sounds like a 2000s song. So that's why it's so interesting to me that it gives that effect. But yeah, obviously, I think it's kind of hard not to think of that original song when listening to this. Okay, this song. I have something to confess, y'all. This song, first of all, I first heard the song from a live performance at the MTV EMAs, and she performed two songs. She performed Coconuts and Hit It From the Back. Coconuts that I had heard from the song being a single before, and then Hit It From the Back was the first time that we were hearing it officially. The moment that she, like, pushed outside of that, I don't want to say pushed outside of the box, considering that she's sort of been doing that the whole time, but I don't know, there's something that happened with that song to me where I'm like, she really has potential to make it. Like, she really, now I just saw her magic. Like, something happened. And this song quickly became one of my guilty pleasures. And I was finding it so unfortunate that I hadn't come out as a single officially. I think it must have been around the time that everybody figured out she was working with Dr. Luke, and they might have, like, held back from releasing that song as a single. I listened to it on YouTube a couple times, as part of the unreleased album. And there was something about the song, even though it's like so inappropriate, there's something about the song that just, as a pop track, it's just so catchy.
Hit it from the back. Before you break my heart. Before you break my heart.
It's just, the song is so catchy. Like the choice of words, I don't know, the way they wrote the song is just so annoyingly catchy. And it's so frustrating because I would yell the song, but then that's so inappropriate to yell. Like it's a weird feeling, y'all. It's a weird feeling. Yeah.
Before you break my heart. Before you break my heart. Hit it from the back.
And it's so funny because the only part that is inappropriate is that one line that is repeated in the chorus. The rest of the song is perfectly fine. The production is great. Like I said, it just, I can just envision myself at a stoplight, light turns red, and I stop, and I'm blasting the song, and my windows are slightly open, and I forget about it, and then there's a car that pulls up, and they're waiting at the light with me. I'm just belting that song out, forgetting that there's people around me in my own little world, and then they're listening like, what? I can just imagine the whole scene. So it's so funny to me. But anyway, the song is good. Once again, kind of unfortunate that it's produced by Dr. Luke. Shows his talent. Sucks that the personality goes with it and that the revenues go in the pocket of that personality, but
Is it love or obsession? Does it all turn to pain? Even though you don't want me.
oh,
Cause you dig your claws right into my heart. So I won't forget ya.
one of the best on the album so far. Definitely one of the best on the album so far. It's visual, it fits the theme of the album, the production is great, the lyrics are good. I like it. I definitely like it.
If it's so masochistic, why does it hit just the same? When I know that it's twisted, why can't I walk away? You dig your claws right into my heart. So I won't forget ya.
Also, I need to give it a shout out for her vocals. On this album so far, vocals I've appreciated the most. She's obviously improved over the years, but I love how it feels like it's almost at the risk of breaking, but it never does. I really enjoy her voice as a singer. Even though it may not have the greatest range ever or the richest of tones and like soulful, there's something about it that really just, as a pop singer, is perfect. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, but I really like, she has her own voice and it works.
It's getting late.
Oh,
All I really want is you. So hold me for 1 more minute. We don't have to talk or listen.
I take back what I said. The previous one is the second best. Oh my god, the plucks are amazing. The sound design behind the plucks that I'm hearing is incredible. The production is insane on that one. I mean, maybe just because it's right up my alley, but it sounds nostalgic, like late 90s, early 2000s, but also current. I like what the lyrics are about. This is by far one of my favorites on the album so far. And it's kind of funny because I was talking about that contrast between that very hyperpop, bright sound production and then that trap, dark pop production. But I feel like we're heading into a third one because I know that Burr is coming up later on. There is that, I don't know, I don't know how to call it, but it's like a third world, a third scenery or environment that we're in that is a little different. My brain is working. I'll try to share an idea that I would have had if I heard the songs and was on her team at the end of the video. I'll come back to it.
All I really want is you.
there's something special about Minute, and it's very 80s synth pop, synth wave, which is right up my alley, that's for sure. But it's creating that third environment, like I said, and I obviously loved it. Okay, Coconuts. Honestly, such a fun song. I've listened to it multiple times. It's a fun song. I'm just gonna enjoy it.
My coconuts. Everybody love the twins.
Everybody love the twins. Yeah, just another one that is just fun Kim Petras pop music that's meant to be entertaining and not too heavy, and just enjoy the moment and the entertainment that comes with the song, and just like it's a sense of humor. And I think that it speaking of which, it kind of adds a layer that well, everybody knows that she's transgender and she went from male to female, and that she has, well, fake breasts, and got to choose the specifications of what was I was about to say installed, as if it's like a computer program or a car. Like, that's weird. But anyway, what was added onto her. And so the fact that she brings it up in a song like that, to me, is even more like comedic. It's even more comical. It's funny. To me, it's funny. And she just like knows how to, you know, have fun and enjoy and make music that is meant to be like light and fun. Once again, weird positioning in the album. And for the visuals, it kind of seems a little out of place, but it could have been fixed if it was positioned properly in the album.
There's a castle in the sky. Way up high, there's a door open wide. I wanna go, I don't wanna go to sleep at night. I wanna get ruined. Don't stop, baby, until we get to heaven tonight.
You know what? I feel like I'm playing Dance Dance Revulo. Whoa! Let's backtrack a bit. I feel like I'm playing Dance Dance Revolution right now. That's where I was like, it sounds like something. But I figured out what that something was, and that is Dance Dance Revolution. I feel like I'm just trying to step like up, down, left, 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 right, left, up, and split. Anyway. Yeah, that's intense. That's really intense.
Stop, baby, till your heart's beating faster than mine. There's a castle in the sky.
I mean, that's another hyperpop, straight up Kim Petras song, and like, there's no denying it's a hyperpop, but it sounds almost dark, but it's not quite dark. I mean, overall, I like the song. It's a little too intense for me to listen to it all the time, but if I go through the album, I'll definitely listen to it too. Now, Burr took me a long time to get into it. It took me, like, I listened to the song a couple of times and I was like, I'm not sure, I'm not sold. But then I think it's her performance at Billboard's Women in Music, and I saw her performance, and that's when I really just like, oh, now I get it. Now I like it. It's weird how some live performances make that, like, cause that to happen, to take a song that you couldn't get into and like really twist it around. I think that is the magic of live performances, and that's why it's so important to go see artists live, on top of many other reasons, such as like getting to see and hear their voice without that studio effect. I now like absolutely love that track.
This place, this late, take me on a ride. What I do for you, yeah. Give it up for you, put it down. You should pull me up closer.
There was a TikTok that she made where she was like continuing those lines of like,
Put the toast in my toaster. Put my cup on the coaster. This shit the motor.
it was such a funny TikTok. Honestly, the best thing that she could have done with this song. It was amazing. Anyway, just it was I laughed so much when I saw that, and I think that made me like the song even more. I mean, I definitely one of the best tracks of the album. I love Burr. There's nothing I want to say more than that. The production, many of the tracks on the album, their production is insane, and it's just like it's such a different environment than what we hear in pop nowadays that it feels good. It feels refreshing to a certain extent, even though it's technically sounds that we've heard before in the past. To me, this stands out. Like this album altogether stands out from a lot of the things that I've heard this year. Good for her. Honestly, very great for her. Here's my biggest critique of the current album, Feed the Beast. Sonically speaking, there was a big absence of cohesiveness. Compared to what could have been her first album, her first Problematic was really cohesive, and I loved it, and it made so much sense for a first album. This one, it could have worked, but there would have been one way to do it. And that would have been to create some sort of storyline in the album with interludes where you kind of had the brighter pop at the beginning, kind of like the beginning of the day, early on adventure, then dig into the darker pop, as in like imagine the beast scenario, right? You're like there's an animal in the wild, it's the beginning of the day, and then they're chasing for food, and then at the end of the day, like they're in trouble because they got into a territory where they're being attacked, and I don't know, just I'm imagining a whole scenario. And then at the end there could have been that aha moment where it would have been that 80s pop at the end to close out the album. I think that it was just a matter of the track listing. It would have made, if the songs flowed into each other sonically, it would have made a lot more sense and would have been a lot less like whiplash back and forth between the different styles and sounds. And I think that would have made the album a lot more cohesive. There are definitely amazing songs on the album. The production is great. Her vocals, like I pointed out, are amazing. It's a fun album. It's one of those, it's a pop album. That's what pop is. It's about blending in genres and making that for escape for a moment. That album was escapism. That's what it was. And I really enjoyed it. I really did. So this is my ranking of the songs in the album in order of which ones I like the most to the ones that I hooked on a little less. Nonetheless, I really enjoyed this album, and I hope that this is going to be a good cycle for her and that it brings her to a next level once again. Problematic would have been an amazing album. It is what it is. There's not much we can change about it, but I really hope that she has the best coverage possible with this album and that she is able to create her own space in mainstream music and just like beyond just the single with like Sam Smith, kind of come out of her niche of her fan or fandom and really become a mainstream artist more than she is now. She's not mainstream. It's kind of weird to say, but just for her to be like a household name in pop music. So this was my reaction to the album. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I really had fun listening to this album, and it was fun to rediscover some songs from what could have been her first album. And if you like this video, don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye.